rooftop party was buzzing with laughter, champagne glasses clinking, and the city skyline glittering beneath the night sky. At the center of it all stood Victoria Hale, the young and sharp-tongued CEO of Hale Industries. Known for her fearless business moves and even sharper wit, she thrived in moments like these, where power, prestige, and wealth mingled effortlessly. Just behind the velvet ropes stood Daniel, the company janitor. Quiet, unassuming, and always seen with a mop in hand, he blended into the background of this world that wasn't built for him. To most, Daniel was invisible. But tonight, fate had decided otherwise. Victoria, already a few glasses deep, spotted him standing near the helipad where a sleek black helicopter waited for her next publicity stunt. With a smirk tugging at her lips, she raised her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "Hey, janitor," she called, pointing dramatically toward him. Heads turned. Conversations paused. "Tell you what. Fly this helicopter, and I'll marry you." Laughter exploded among the guests. The rich and powerful leaned in, eager to enjoy the spectacle of humiliation. It was meant as a joke, a cutting remark to remind Daniel of his place. But Daniel didn't flinch. He set down his mop, wiped his hands on his faded overalls, and slowly walked toward the aircraft. His calm steps silenced the crowd. Something in his eyes, steady, unbothered, almost knowing, made the laughter fade into uneasy murmurs. "Are you serious?" Victoria mocked, crossing her arms, expecting him to back down. Without answering, Daniel climbed into the cockpit as though it was second nature. His fingers danced across the controls with practiced precision. The sound of the rotors whirring to life cut through the night, whipping the crowd's designer dresses and silk ties. Jazz rippled through the rooftop. Someone shouted, "Wait, he actually knows what he's doing." Victoria's smirk faltered. Her glass slipped slightly in her grip. She hadn't expected him to even touch the machine, let alone handle it like a seasoned pilot. Moments later, the helicopter lifted gracefully off the ground, hovered against the backdrop of the glittering city, and then touched back down with the smoothness of a feather landing. Silence reigned, except for the hum of the rotors winding down. Daniel stepped out casually, his face calm but his eyes gleaming with a quiet fire. Victoria stared at him, speechless. Finally, she managed, How do you know how to fly that?" The crowd leaned in, waiting. Daniel brushed dust off his sleeves. "Because before I was a janitor, I was a decorated rescue pilot for the Air Force. I've flown into storms most people would run from, I've lifted soldiers off battlefields and saved civilians from floods. But when my brother died, I gave up the sky. I wanted a quiet life. So here I am." A heavy stillness fell over the rooftop. The CEO, who had mocked him seconds ago, suddenly felt very small in front of the man she thought was beneath her. For the first time, her sharp tongue had no words. Then Daniel looked directly at her, his voice steady but gentle. "You see, Miss Hale, people aren't always what they seem. Sometimes the man holding the mop has held lives in his hands." Tears shimmered in the eyes of a few guests. The laughter that once mocked him was now replaced with admiration, even awe. Victoria exhaled slowly, her facade cracking. Something inside her shifted, humbled in a way she'd never experienced before. She stepped closer, her voice trembling. "Daniel, I didn't know." For the first time all evening, the rooftop was utterly silent, not from arrogance or judgment, but from respect. And in that silence, the janitor, who once blended into the shadows, stood taller than anyone in the room.